We now invite Phyu to share her story.
Mingalaba, bonjour à tous. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Phyu. Before I introduce myself, I would like to thank the Secretary General, Madame Jumalapali, the team ClerMUN, Veronique, Diane, my friend Vivienne, and everyone here for giving me a chance to give a testimony at the opening ceremony of ClerMUN 2025. It's an honor to be a part of this, especially when it's about rights and freedom. For I come from a country where millions of people don't have basic human rights or have the minimal freedom to discuss about this. I am a celebrity singer-songwriter-performer from Burma and a political refugee in France. Yes, I come from Burma, also known as Myanmar. I guess many of you haven't heard much about it because it's well hidden. Yes, it has been well hidden from the world by the military regime, which ruled it for more than 6 decades. Myanmar is actually the largest continuous land piece in Southeast Asia, rich in natural resources, from gold, jade, ruby, to rare earth, and situated between the two powers, China and India. It is quite the same size as France, with a population of 60 million people. But unfortunately, only 50 million are inside the country. The rest 10 million are displaced outside due to the long history of civil war, political unrest, violations of human rights, lack of freedom, and different kinds of oppression caused by the military rule. And I am one of these 10 million. How did a Burmese celebrity artist end up as a refugee in France? At the dawn of the 1st February 2021, the first day of the parliament of our newly elected democratic government, my country has been seized by the comeback military coup, arresting our president, our state councillor Aung San Suu Kyi, and almost all of the parliament. It was followed by a huge uprising all over the country. A few weeks later, the hunters started to gun down the peaceful protesters. I published a song called Tears on my social media with the footages of the violent crackdown of the peaceful protest. The song became viral, and the hunter put me on the warrant list with the accusation of defaming the state under the Penal Code 505A, in which the accused can be imprisoned for at least 3 years. You might be wondering if it's really possible to imprison an artist for publishing a song on a social media in 21st century, right? Yeah, it is possible in Myanmar. I had 2 choices. One is to apologize to the hunter, appease with them, make a deal, not to involve in the politics again, and shut my mouth, pretend that nothing has ever happened in Myanmar, continue my career as a megastar, and let them use my image for their normalization propaganda to the world that everything is fine in Myanmar. Otherwise, I would get arrested and go to the notorious prisons of Myanmar. Another choice is to leave my successful career, my comfortable life, my wealth, my family, my home, my fans, everything I built and cherished for 20 years, to become a fugitive and end up in a third country like a nobody. I chose the second option because I couldn't shake the bloody hands of the hunter who have killed and tortured thousands of my fans and my fellow citizens. My choice had huge risk and consequences, of course. Finally, I had no choice but to decide to leave my country and everything I cherish. In the darkness of the one rainy night, I mustered all my courage and crossed the river between Myanmar and Thailand on an old Michelin tire. Yeah, that Michelin tire. Well, that's how I ended up in ClerMUN, don't you think so? Well, that was a nightmare for me that night, actually. Then I hid in Thailand for a few more months until I received protection from France. But not everyone was that fortunate. Some of my fellow resistant artists got arrested, some imprisoned, and one famous musician got killed in the frontiers. And one famous hip-hop artist, who is also the member of the parliament, got a capital punishment, and he got executed in prison. That execution was the first in 30 years of our history. And now you might be wondering, what's happening now in Myanmar 4 years after the coup? Well, the cruelty of the regime is becoming more severe each day, although the plight of my country and my people has unfortunately become less visible in the world's news lately. The military junta is killing its own people. They continue to commit crimes against humanity, targeting civilians, schools, hospitals, places of worship. There are already 30,000 people arrested, nearly 10,000 people murdered, not only in prisons or in conflict areas, but also from daily airstrikes by hunters' fighter jets on civilians' residential areas and war camps, destroying hospitals along with their patients and leaving temporary schools with bloody classrooms. About 3.5 million internally displaced people across the country, and hundreds of thousands of children without access to proper education, healthcare, and vaccination. Last year, the junta activated the conscription law and started to kidnap even the minors, just to use them as human shields in the battlefields. Majority of the people in Myanmar barely get 4.5 hours of electricity a day and hardly making a living under poverty, pressure, and scrutiny. Under the junta's 4 years' reign, Myanmar has become world's #1 in drug dealing. And host of cyber fraud scam centers in Southeast Asia, as you all could see in the news lately. And the junta is preparing an election at the end of this year, which is nothing but a political trap to legitimize the atrocity and the crimes against humanity they committed over the past 4 years. But people of Myanmar have decided to fight back and form People's Defense Army since September 2021. They had to resort to armed revolution, sadly, to regain freedom, justice, and democracy that they truly deserve. People from all walks of life, university students, teachers, lawyers, doctors, engineers, artists, bankers, farmers, etc., join in the resistant army. They have given up their dreams, their futures, their careers, their families. When I see the crowd here today, you remind me of hundreds of thousands of young people, as young as 17 and 18 like you, fighting in the jungles of Myanmar to get back their basic rights. People like us, who are scattered and displaced around the world, also participate in the revolution in different ways, like what I'm doing right now, speaking out about our country and helping the war victims with humanitarian aids. As an exile-resistant artist, I toured around the world since the end of 2024, singing fundraising charity concerts in London, Seoul, Sydney, Melbourne, and Tokyo to support the displaced people in war-torn areas, to unite Myanmar diaspora, and to increase the awareness of our forgotten war in the international scene. As a result of that, 4 months ago, the junta revoked my citizenship. Now I'm not only a nobody, I have no nationality and no citizenship anymore. But that's not gonna stop me. I will continue my fight. I will continue to speak out the truth to raise awareness of our forgotten country and our forgotten war. I will continue to do whatever I can. This chance of my 10 minutes testimony here means so much to me and to my people of Myanmar. Your presence, especially that of young people here, encourages us, and your attention ensures us that we are seen, we are heard, we are recognized, and that we are not forgotten. And I hope one day the peace and justice would return to my country. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.